So we can't do enough stories about the Democrats being incompetent following their historic loss to, again, an orange clown. We can only repeat that a million times because they propped up Hillary Clinton as their candidate despite her astronomical unpopularity numbers and having real grassroots supports behind one of their own candidates. But I guess he would actually represent monetary change, which is real change for the party, and that would affect their wallets and their fat pockets, so that's what sucks. Not to relive the primary anymore, but they're still learning nothing. They're doing big donor retreats and big fundraisers with financiers. Here's their most recent bungling fundraiser. The chairs of the DNC and the party's House and Senate campaign arms will huddle with activist operatives and deep-pocketed Democratic financiers at a biannual conference hosted by the Democratic Alliance, a left-wing collaborative DC organization at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, which is very fancy in Washington, D.C. They will discuss strategy for immediate opposition to President Donald Trump's policies, begin laying out the groundwork for Democratic campaigns next year in midterm elections. Ooh, sounds good. Strategize future efforts for congressional redistricting. Awesome. And promote an agenda focused on the state level. I love it. But just wait. This is who is involved in this new strategy. The alliance brings together high-dollar liberal donors, individuals, labor unions, and charitable foundations that pledge to give at least $200,000 annually to a suite of left-wing organizations. Through its partners and donors internally, the alliance in 2015 raised $75 million. And that sounds really great, opening the party to working people by saying you need to donate $200,000 before you even enter the room. Alliance-backed organizations include some of the most prominent liberal groups currently running high-level campaigns opposing the Trump White House and Republican policies at the federal level. These groups include the Center for American Progress, a liberal policy shop that is liberal, it's hilarious, that has turned its 501c4 arm into anti-Trump war room, and Media Matters, again, you know, both two pro-Hillary Clinton organizations, to put it mildly, during the primary. And first of all, they think they're Star Wars, calling themselves the Alliance. Give me a break. And some of the donors in attendance will include Michael Vachin, a top aide to billionaire hedge fund manager George Soros, who, by the way, is paying us to do this. I don't know if you heard, Jordan. Healthcare technology mogul Paul Egerman, Dallas philanthropist Naomi Aberle, Susan Sandler, the daughter of subprime mortgage pioneer Herb Sandler, and Ian Simmons, the husband of Hyatt Hotel fortune heiress Lisa Pitzker Simmons. So Paris Hilton in male form, I guess. What are your thoughts?
Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Well, I think that a lot of people confuse, you know, trolls and stuff, say, oh, Jordan, stop attacking the Democratic Party. We need to unite. We need to unite. And I think what they're not understanding is I want the Democratic Party to win. I want to defeat Trump, because to me, radical Tea Party extremist republicanism is worse than corporate buffoonery and debauchery. However, this is not going to do it. That's why we're critical on the corporate Democrats. I don't want to pat you or me on the back, but I said when you pick Tim Kaine, probably not going to win. I think that the problem is the Democratic Party is run by people living in the past. Nancy Pelosi, she's done a few good things, but I think in her mind, she's seeing echoes of 2006, which after George Bush's reelection, there was, you know, the country really soured on George Bush, and just by default, Democrats overtook Congress in 2006, I believe, and then, of course, they had total control under President Obama in 2008. But the problem is there is an anti-establishment fervor in this country, right or wrong. I think right. And that's how fake populists like Donald Trump become president. So if your response to that is by going back to insiders and donors and big corporations and people who say the right things and serve up platitudes, but then go and kind of stomp on the middle class at fundraisers that night, people are smart. People watch the Young Turks and internet shows and OpenSecrets.org. It's just follow the money, Lebowski. Follow the money. So do I like that the Democratic Party is leading the resistance against Trump care and xenophobia and all that? Yes, but we're not going to stop talking about who they're taking money, because to me, it's not a feasible option. Okay, we're going to replace Trump with what? Chuck Schumer? Cory Booker are they going to push?
Oh, please.
The same people who serve up platitudes and then go take money from the same people who do nothing for you, the viewers? No, that is not a good option. So I'm not surprised. And I think another thing, real quick, Nancy Pelosi in an interview, I think yesterday, she was asked who is the leader of the Democratic Party. They can't bring themselves to just state the obvious, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in the country among Democrats. You know, Joy-Ann Reid of MSNBC, but he's not a Democrat, Jordan. Well, I don't care what he is. Among Democratic voters that were recently polled, on Fox News, by the way, leads the Democratic voters, most favorable. Independents, most favorable. Even among Republican voters, he's tied with Chuck Schumer as most favorable, and that doesn't even count because Chuck Schumer is a Republican.
Wait, so does Joy-Ann Reid not want Bernie Sanders to give his donor list to the DNC? Because she says he's not a Democrat.
No, she does.
Oh,
they want to have
so
their
they want to milk him for all he's worth without actually using his policies. That's the issue with identity politics in this country. When you refuse to move from your donor network and you just want to use platitudes again, like you said, and you just want big talk and fancy white, red, and blue balloons that come down at the DNC, and you just want to fund your donors and still just be flashy, that's not going to work anymore. People actually are smart about money in politics. Over 90% of Americans think that money is a corrupting influence in politics, and the Democrats think they're exempt from it because they are a shade better than the Republicans, but people don't see that anymore. People actually respond to strength. So Trump, for all his bluster, is actually kind of strong, even though he's an idiot. That's what people responded to from him. When the Democrats are feckless, they're like, oh, I don't even have a plan to fight Neil Gorsuch. I don't even have a plan for single payer. I don't even have a leader that has any grassroots support in Tom Perez. People don't respond to that weakness. You have to be strong, and that's what they don't see. They only want to hide behind their curtain of money and then just put someone out there who's a pretty face who can put their platitudes out there. That's not going to work anymore. Progressive credibility is actually a real thing, and when Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in the country, they don't get that that doesn't mean that they just want him to be popular with the Democratic base. The independents in this country have moved to the left of the Democratic base. If you are a hardcore Democrat, you're probably pretty centrist at this point, because a lot of people are moving away from party identity. We have a record number of independents in this country, and that's why Bernie Sanders is so popular. It's populism, not traditional left-right Democratic Republican politics like they like to play in the old times.